My name is Liz Major, and I've been coming to the Rock since August of '86, just 2 months after the Rock started. Even though I've been here since August of '86, I'm sure that many of you don't know my full testimony. Just out of high school at the age of 19, I made a decision that would affect me for the rest of my life, and that decision was having an abortion. I'm sure that that might shock some of you because you all know me as me. You may have seen me in the nursery working or somewhere else in the church. So that's a part of me that you haven't known before. But that's not me now. That was me then. But because of what happened then, I had made other decisions in my life that may have brought other consequences that I've had to live through or other struggles that I've had to go through. I had an abortion at 19 and I got married at the age of 22. And those struggles I spoke about carried on with me into my marriage. I personally grew up in the church, and so up until the time that I turned 19 and made that decision to have an abortion, I followed on and got married, and I was out of the will of God, and I married a man who wasn't following God either. And that continued on until God spoke in my heart and said, "You've got to make a change." And he still had a purpose for my life. I was married in '76 and then came to church on the Rock in '86. And during that period of time, I had gotten back into church for about a period of 6 years. But during that time, I didn't allow God to make the transformation in me that I needed to have. I didn't allow myself to get involved in God's family the way I needed to be. Instead, I was still struggling with issues of the abortion, the infertility issues that my husband and I were having. So here comes '86, and I have moved to Lee Summit early that year, and all of a sudden, I'm looking at a newspaper, and there's an ad there for a nursery worker for a brand new church here in Lee Summit. When I answered that ad, that was an ad for a job. But what was already going on inside of me was that God was already stirring up in me that I needed to get back to Him. So by answering that ad and coming to Church on the Rock, not only did I fulfill a desire to work with children, but it also got me back spiritually where I needed to be, in His house, with His people, with my people, my family. I really like to say that everything went well after I came to Church on the Rock, after I started working in the nursery, but I can't say that because I was married to a man who was an alcoholic. There were definitely struggles there. He wasn't a Christian. A lot of struggles there whenever you're trying to serve the Lord. But I was also still dealing with things from the abortion, shame from that, guilt from that, being around a church with young families. You know, those babies were a reminder to me that I couldn't have a child with infertility issues and the abortion. So there were still struggles. Out of those struggles, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice if I was going to stay in that old mindset and be ruled by all those feelings I had had from my past, or was I going to go forward and let God really make a change in my life, to really transform me, and to be able to be a part, to be purposely a part of this new family, this adopted family, if you will, since I didn't have my own children. This became my home. These children became an extension for me. They became my children. Their parents entrusted me with their children. They made me feel like I was a part of their family. And I can't tell you how much healing came from that, how much of God's redemption had flowed over me, and how much I was able to forgive things in my past, forgive myself, forgive others, and start walking with the purpose that God called me for when He created me. Today's banner is you as an encourager. You know, whenever I think about my past, it would be really easy for me to just think of only myself, take care of me, myself, and I. But I didn't do that. I had a different plan that God gave me, and that was to be a part of this church, be a part of this family. Every person that walks through this door, to be able to be a part of children's lives. They weren't just adopted anymore. They were part of my family. We don't have to choose to be a part of our old self and to be into our own self. We have to choose the better part, which when God redeemed me, when God forgave me of all of my past, that all changed. I'm here to love other people. I'm here to be a help to other people. I can't just be a part of this church family and sit back in a pew anymore. You know, that hasn't happened for a long time. I'm a part of it. They've made me a part of it. Children in this church that I've watched grow up, and they are now adults. They have families of their own. I've watched some that have gone into ministry. I have just watched them just flourish in the Lord. And now I'm watching their children become turned on to God and to be on fire for God. And I've watched them as they have been in the altars and prayed, and just seen such a change. And just in this period of 35 years that I've been here, I've seen so much. And I'm so grateful that God gave me this opportunity to come out of that old self and into this new transformed self. And I'm not done yet. God's still growing me. And I'm grateful that I'm here in this family to do that. And I want to continue to be that you that encourages others, that can be there for somebody else. And what else can I be? That's God's purpose for me. I'm Liz Major, and you are my family, and I choose to encourage.